Hello, this is Dennis, and welcome to another episode of the Grounded Reason podcast. I hope everybody had a great holiday. Today, I've got a bit of a treat in store for you. Today's episode is an interview I did with Erik Caso. He's the CEO of a company called Entangled Media. Now, they've developed a media server called Younity. It's pretty unique. It's not like any media server I've seen before. It's very different from what you would expect from Kodi and Plex, and we'll get into that in the interview. But I've been playing around with it now for about a month. And it is pretty cool. Its main function is to bring all of your files on all of your devices all together in one view. And I've been waiting for something like this for a really long time. I know there's tools out there that'll do it, but yeah, there's a lot of fuss and muss and configuration that you need to do with this. This is as close to plug and play as you're going to get with a media server. And it's got a lot of utility for cord cutters who have like media spread on a bunch of different devices. Now, you know, it wasn't going to be all sunshine and puppy dogs. While I did get to interview Erik, and as you'll see from the interview, he is a great guy, Joel will not be on the podcast today. Sorry to all the Joel heads out there. I'll try to squeeze in a double dose of Joel next episode. But for now, let's check out my interview with the CEO of Entangled Media, Erik Caso, and he's going to tell us all about the Younity media server. I'm here today with Erik Caso. He's the CEO of Entangled Media. They're a software startup that designed Younity, and that's spelled Younity. Younity is an app that has a unique take on what media server software should be. Thank you, Erik, for coming in today.
Thanks a lot, Dennis. Appreciate being here.
So, Erik, can you let everyone know what Younity is and what problem were you attempting to solve when you came up with it?
Sure. So Younity connects your devices like your laptop and your desktop, your tablet and your phone to one another so that you can access all the content across those devices as if it's local to each device. So you install Younity on your, let's say, your laptop and desktop and your iPhone. And from your phone or from one of your computers, you see all of the content across all those devices, including all your music libraries, all your videos, whether they're movies or home videos, all your photos, including things from like Apple Photos or Adobe Lightroom, and all your documents.
Cool.
So the original goal we were focused on, which we remain focused on now, is really this concept of multi-device computing. Right? If you rewind only 10 years ago, computing was a pretty different task, right? I mean, it used to be very productivity centric. You would go to the computer to go write a document or send an email or something like that. But since the advent of the smartphone, people have really changed their behavior. They compute all day, every day, for every single reason. And along with this has come just the ownership of a lot of different devices. People don't just have a computer anymore. They have lots. They have laptop and desktop. The average person has, by Cisco's estimate, 7 different internet-connected devices. And across those devices, they have something on the order of 1.3 terabytes of content. So that's sort of, I guess, the complicated way of saying people have a lot of stuff spread across a lot of devices. And while computers have definitely gotten better over the last 10 years, they've got, fancy features, they're beautiful, they're fast, they're really cool. More or less, all they really care about is the stuff that's installed on them. So the idea behind Younity was to sort of modify the operating system a little bit, to make it so that there was an app there that said, I don't care about what's just on a computer, but all of your computers. So if you have 2 or 3 or 10, however many you have, Younity makes it so those devices are aware of one another. So no matter which device you're at, it's having access to all of your content all the time.
It's pretty cool. Now, when I played around with the app a bit, and while I know it's not a cloud service, I've seen people refer to it as one, and it kind of even feels like one, but it's not. Can you explain why exactly it's not, and how Younity actually gets that information from device to device?
Sure. So we're not a true cloud service in the sense that we don't have any of the content from any user, right? So when you put Younity on your computers, we don't store anything, right? We basically keep your username and password so that you can authenticate your devices to one another under an account. But we don't have your files, for example. Nothing is uploaded to our storage servers. In fact, we don't even have storage servers. We don't have metadata about content. So in that sense, it's not like Dropbox or other devices or other services to where you install it and then uploads everything to the service, and then that's how you have access to it. Unity is more of what is probably technically correct to call a personal cloud. Instead of the service running on our hardware in our data center, we turn your hardware into the cloud service. So by installing Unity on your computers, we build all of those services that other cloud services offer to you into your individual devices. So they're connected directly to one another. Your laptop is talking directly to your desktop. Your phone is talking to those computers directly. Either if they're on a LAN, just a direct connection on the same network, or potentially via peer-to-peer connection, or in some cases, if let's say you work at some big megacorp, and the IT guys have locked down the firewall and they don't allow peer-to-peer connections, we do a secure HTTP relay to make sure your devices can always talk to one another. So the benefit is that we never have your content. It's totally private and secure. All the communication between your devices is encrypted over SSL. And it's very efficient. It's designed just for you or just for me, but on an individual basis, creating a personal cloud instead of you using the public cloud.
So that's like if you're, say, on another network or even out on wireless, is it sort of like a VPN in a way, like it kind of tunnels to your network to get to those devices?
Yeah, conceptually, that's exactly what it does.
Okay.
Right. So, VPNs let you connect to those networks. Unity is a bit different than that in the sense it lets you connect directly to the devices. Right. So, in that sense, one of the big things that we were really concerned with is you use a lot of, let's say media servers out there. There's quite a bit of heavy lifting to do to set up the network. Right. You might have to open ports on your firewall or configure your router to do things, or any number.
Oh yeah, it's a part-time job.
Yeah, and of course, then there's an update to something, right, and it undoes your settings, and you got to do it all over again. And we wanted to make it to where really there's none of that with Unity. So a lot of the intellectual property we've developed and the patents we have is really making this stuff just simple and easy. You don't have to configure anything. You never have to think about your network. You don't have to manage your devices. When you install Unity, it basically allows them to connect to one another, and they manage all of the different types of network connections you might have. Are you on the same network, different networks? Are you in cell network or Wi-Fi network? And all of those things around, well, if I've got, let's say, an MKV video that won't play on an iPhone, because iPhones don't know what an MKV is, right? They only support certain formats. Unity automatically optimizes it for the network and for the device to make sure that MKV can play on your iPhone. So Unity really has, a lot that goes into it to make it so that you don't have to set these things up or manage them.
Cool. So it does all the video transcoding and all of that as it goes from one device to another?
That's right. We have a feature we call Smart Stream. And Smart Stream allows you to enable high quality with smart defaults, right? So a good example of that is, if I'm on the same network, never transcode for quality, only transcode for format if that's a problem, right? So again, if I have a video that will play in my iPhone, don't do anything to it. If I have a video that won't play, transcode it to a format that will. But if I'm on a remote network, maybe I'm on my cell connection, maybe I don't want raw file quality, meaning it might be lots of bandwidth that I'm going to use. Maybe I want high quality, but not raw quality. And the same goes for video. So Unity has got a variety of features built into it that sort of say, depending on the type of content you have and the type of network you're on, this is the best way we can get it to you. But then we still give you the buttons to push if you want to say, give me the original quality so that I can stream it to my TV or things like that.
Oh, cool. So what options do you have from getting it to, say, like a mobile device to your television? What does Unity actually support for that?
So we support AirPlay and Chromecast.
Okay.
We'll be working next year on native apps for things like Apple TV or Roku or devices like that. But right now you can stream anything from either your computer or your phone using AirPlay or Chromecast.
Cool. So I mean, you got most of the bases covered there for mobile.
Most of them, yeah.
So many cord cutters, people who have cut cable, or cord nevers, as the media likes to call people who have never actually had cable, they tend to gravitate towards maybe like a Kodi or a Plex solution. What sets Unity apart from those products?
So there's a couple of things that we do that they don't, and there's certainly a couple of things they do that we don't. The things they do that we don't, right out of the gate are, we don't offer, the idea of like, channels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't get like a Vimeo channel or something like that, or a YouTube channel through Unity. We tend to think that, you can go get those channels elsewhere. So we really don't focus on aggregating content that's online into Unity. What we focus on instead is simplicity, right? So Unity is vastly easier than other products out there. It takes about 30 seconds, maybe max, to set up Unity.
I've never encountered a media server that was so instant. I had it running in like a minute.
Yeah, I mean, really, all you do is you create a username, which is your email, and then a password, and that's it, right? So there's no saying this is where my content is. There's no putting, different types of content into folders, right? So you don't say like, my movies are in this folder and my home videos are in this other folder and my music is in this place, right? Unity will basically index the entire hard drive on your computer, or the external hard drives you have, if you have external hard drives. It'll find all the content. So you really don't have to lift a finger. And I think this is especially, a big benefit for people that don't even know where their content is, right? Like I recently discovered I have 1,500 home videos of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where they are, right? If I had to go put them in some directory, it's not going to happen because I can't find them. So, not only am I not going to manage my content that way, I don't know that it's even possible that I could, because I don't know where the content is. So first off, we're different in the sense that we're just really, really easy to use. Secondly, we do something else that's really unique, and that is we unify your different computers. So Plex and Kodi are really, what we call client server, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have, let's say, my phone, and it's talking to my one Plex server, for example. And Unity is really about all of your devices being unified together, hence the name Unity. So you can, for example, on your laptop, see everything on your desktop, and vice versa, or from your phone, see things that are on all of those computers at once. There's no switching between media server A and media server B, or things like that. So we unify all the content. It's really, really easy to use. And we do some other cool things that are a bit unique, like, you can access the folder structure on your computer so that you can see your documents, or, things that are not necessarily media. I would say that mostly summarizes it.
Cool. So you said it works with computers. What about like external hard drives, or like say NAS devices or something like that?
So we support USB hard drives right now, like external hard drives that you plug into devices. And we even support those if you unplug them and, move them between computers and things like that. So, we have a lot of advanced support for USB hard drives. We haven't yet done NAS. That's on our short list of things that we'll begin working on next year. It's been on the list for a while now, mm-hmm. but, the way that Unity is built, it's pretty complicated in making sure these devices can talk to one another. So, it's taken us a while, but we're getting around to supporting Linux and specifically NAS devices in the near term.
Yeah, because a lot of work must go into this, because for years now I've been saying that there should be something that exists that kind of just brings everything together with a lot of work on my part. And the fact that it's been this long makes me think that it's an extremely complicated problem to tackle.
I've been doing this for a while, and we typically internally will break down our product by about 3 sort of key parts of the stack, and each one of those 3 is the hardest thing any of us have ever worked on. So it is, I guess it's the top 3 hardest things that we've worked on. It's very, very difficult to do. It's not hard if you want to make it to where people have to manage this stuff. But if you really wanted to just work without people having to do anything, without people having to know what it's doing, it's really difficult to do, especially in light of the fact that, you could have a Windows laptop and a Mac desktop, and Unity works perfectly fine unifying the content across those devices. It doesn't make you look at the My Documents folder from your Windows machine separate from the Documents folder on your Mac. It just unifies everything canonically into those root directories. And it's able to at the same time read the media libraries you have. So it'll find, you have iTunes on this computer, and there's an iTunes library. But you also have a whole bunch of music that you just have on a hard drive that's not in iTunes. And it'll merge all of this content together. It'll deduplicate the content. It'll recognize that, it's spread across different devices, and, allow you to browse it in just one simple menu without you having to, do a lot of work.
Yeah, I discovered quite a few movies and a couple albums on my wife's computer because of Unity. Actually, it just kind of fired up, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know we had that," and it was there right in Unity.
Yeah, that was something that I discovered while testing our new desktop software. Where the first time I installed it all of a sudden, and technically Unity has always done this. It's always from my phone. It's always shown me the stuff across our computers. But there's something about looking at it on a desktop screen that's just so much more engaging, right? It's these big views instead of these little views in your hand. And I couldn't believe all the videos we had shot over the years of, our family. And, it's funny because, you look at when you create those videos, they're obviously important moments, but I'd never, ever once looked at any of them, right? My wife puts them on her computer and then some on our iMac. And I put most of them on the iMac, but in different folders, and they're just kind of scattered about. And I didn't even know where any of this stuff was. And next thing I know, I'm spending hours just like clicking through, looking at all these amazing videos of my daughters as they're growing up.
So, speaking of videos, what resolutions? Because I'm sure some cord cutters are probably interested in this. Like, what resolutions do you stream?
Sure. So let's say I'm on my laptop and I've got content on my laptop. It's of course native resolution. We don't do anything. We're just reading bytes off disk. So whereas let's say I'm on my phone and I'm on my home network, I'm going to also get native resolution. But as soon as I walk off my home network, let's say I'm on the street or I'm at my office or the airport or something like that, it's going to notice that we're on different types of network because of the network topology. And it's going to say, okay, I'm going to stream high quality, but not original quality. But at the same time, it'll have a little gear that we're all accustomed to, for example, like let's say from YouTube. And in the video player, you could hit that gear and you could pick anything in between the default quality we have, which is meant to look like HD quality on your phone and probably SD quality, I would describe it, on a TV.
Okay.
It'll let you choose anything from our default quality to native resolution. So if it's a 1080p movie, you would see default and then maybe, for example, 480, 720, 1080.
Does it do 4K?
If the original quality is 4K, it'll play it in 4K by selecting original quality. If the original quality is 8K, it'll let you stream 8K. I would say I hope you have a good internet connection if that's happening.
Don't do that on your data line.
Yeah, exactly. So, what we find is that, increasingly with movies and TV shows and stuff like that, you've got that content, but, we have a lot of users. We have a lot of GoPro users because, they shoot lots and lots of video. And of course they tend to shoot it in some of the highest resolutions GoPro offers. And it's a really big deal in that instance because, for anybody who's listening that has a GoPro, that those files are just gigantic, right? I mean, you never get them on your phone because, even a minute of 1080p content from a GoPro is an enormous file.
It's completely uncompressed.
Yeah. I mean, and as soon as you move it to, let's say 4K, I mean, you're talking about, really massive files that you never, ever get on your phone. So you run into this conundrum, right, of all this content that you care enough to go and spend, hundreds of dollars on this camera, go do something and film it. It's always back on the home computer, right? I mean, it's never on your phone. And virtually none of it ever gets to YouTube. In fact, not only does it not get to YouTube, most of it doesn't even get edited. So, when a lot of our users had this feedback for us, we decided that, part of what Unity does is it discovers things. Well, let's just discover all the GoPro content and put it into a library so we can dynamically create libraries. Even if you didn't organize it, or even if you don't even know where it is. And then we can stream it to our users because when they want to access it is when they're hanging out with their friends and someone says, hey, how was the snow on your trip last week? The last thing you would do is say, oh, well, it's on my computer. I wish I could show you. Just grab your phone now and say, yeah, let me show it to you, or share it with you and stream it directly from your computer right to your phone. So we can do that anywhere from, high quality to original quality and everything in between.
So you said you could share videos. Does that work with DRM as well?
No, we don't remove any DRM or affect DRM at all. So if you have DRM content, there's nothing we can do about it, right? Okay. So you can share it if you want, but it's not going to work.
Right. That's what I
figured. Yeah. So but otherwise, our sharing works in a fairly unique way in that it streams it from your device. It's completely private. No one can take the content. They can't own it. They can't reshare it. You can unshare it at any time. So we've got, a fairly unique, I think, feature set around sharing compared to a lot of other products out there.
So was this always your passion, or how did you get into, software design?
Well, I guess, throughout my career being, working in first aerospace and then software is always just solving fun problems.
You worked
And
in aerospace?
yeah, out of college, I went and worked at an aerospace company, doing work on, I guess, near optical imaging systems.
Hmm.
So, space telescopes or, other types of
Sweet.
satellites that would do imaging. And it was super fun technology, right? Just very peculiar corporate environment to work in. It's beyond big company to, big political company.
Right,
So
because you're probably working a lot of government contracts and things like that.
yeah, those are the only people that would buy the stuff that we were making. So,
Right.
or at least government funded projects, for space telescopes and things like that. And really fun, fascinating stuff to work on, just very difficult to work within environment. But, right after that, I was, working in software and never left it. And, as it relates to, how did I get here? I mean, it's really just kind of solving my own problem. Like everyone else, I had this problem, and really, what I thought was the cloud would solve it. I mean, when I'm at the office, I use my laptop. When I'm at home, I use my desktop. When I'm on the street, I use my phone. And every time I use those devices, stuff gets stuck on them. Whether it's a photo I shoot on my phone, or music I download on my wife's laptop, not realizing I can't even get it to my phone because it's her iTunes account, or I'm working on the laptop and it gets stuck there, and I'm on the desktop. I just constantly ran into this. And it seemed logically the thing to do was to break down and finally pay for cloud storage, right?
Hmm.
And the moment I did, I realized that it absolutely doesn't even address this problem, right? Cloud storage works fantastically well for files and documents because it's built around hierarchical file structures. But over
Right.
90% of the content people have is media. It's music, photos, and videos. We have so much of that stuff that we organize it into these applications in their libraries. And if I go and put an iTunes catalog into online storage, it doesn't know what it is, right? It just sees a database and a bunch of files and folders. But what Younity does is it recognizes it's not files and folders. There's metadata that describes this media, and it organizes it into the ways that you're accustomed to browsing your music, which is not going into a folder and clicking a file. It's browsing by artist or genre or playlist. So, it became, clear pretty quickly that no one was building a solution around this problem of having tons and tons of content spread across all these devices. And all I really wanted to do was use the screen that was the most convenient. When I'm on the street, it's my phone. When I'm in the office, it's my laptop. And when I'm home, it's my desktop.
Cool. So when I go to your site, I see that there is like a free service tier and then there's a premium tier. Can you go over the price and what the difference between those two tiers are, and what you get, what the premium tier has to offer essentially?
Right. So the premium tier gives you a couple of features, three specifically right now, more advanced features. And over time, it's going to be more and more of these features. So free lets you have unlimited use on your local network. So you can put Younity on as many devices as you want. And if you're on, for example, if all of them are on your home Wi-Fi, they'll all talk to one another, stream content, things like that. The premium service allows you to do the same stuff, but over remote networks. So this is all of our proprietary technology that knows how to navigate different networks and say, hey, the corporate firewall at the megacorp you work at is blocking all peer-to-peer, so we're going to have to route everything through the relay. It takes care of all of that business so that it just works for you. So you get remote access, you get the ability to download files for offline access, and you also get to use our Smart Stream technology, which is all the intelligent, what I call intelligent defaults for streaming quality, to where it'll let you listen to or watch the highest quality and then adjust those things based on the type of network you're on, or if you're switching it from a phone to a TV. So the premium tier, you can buy it in three different ways. You can get it for $3 a month, $30 a year, or $36 for a lifetime license. That's just a one-time purchase. And right now, these are introductory prices. We just started testing our paywall or our premium service a couple of months ago. So we're trying to figure out what are the things that people like the most. Where does this make the most sense with our users? And it's going really well. So as we add a bunch of features into our desktop software over the next 2-3 months, we expect that probably pricing will go up. We'll always have, I think, the lowest pricing in market, but we wanted to kind of find where that price point is with our users. So we're starting with the best deal that we could come up with.
Cool. And where can they go to sign up for it?
You go to our website, which is getunity.com. As you mentioned at the beginning, it's YOUNITY. So getunity.com. And you can download it for free, test it out. And if you like it, take it from there.
Cool. So what does the future hold for Unity? Do you have any direction you're looking to take it, or any feature sets you're planning on releasing soon? Like, what's next?
So we just released our desktop software, I think 2 weeks ago. So there's a lot we're doing to sort of build that up. That was a huge project for us. That was really a couple of years of development. So we're excited that that's over the finish line now, at least from the standpoint of getting it in market. And we're seeing really awesome usage and feedback from our users. So we're going to be making that a lot better over the next several months. But really the last mile of our software is, how do we integrate with storage that's not on a computer? And that's really two things. One is online storage, and two is NAS. So, oftentimes I think it's easy to think of Unity as, hey, this replaces online storage, or, maybe getting a NAS because it unifies all the storage on my computers. But there's really limitations to that. And we're not a pro or anti-storage company. We're an access company. What we realize we need to do is we need to make those products work better. Right? The limitations with online storage and with NAS are really twofold. One, you have to manage them, right? Which is kind of a pain in the butt. And two, they're not really built around you accessing your content. What I mean by that is, if I put my iTunes catalog in Dropbox does not know what it is. But if I connect Unity to it, it turns it into Spotify. Mm-hmm. So, what we need to do is work with storage vendors to give people the UI, the way that they can browse and access their content they're accustomed to, but have the benefit of online storage, which is always available and provides backup and things like that. So, this sort of last mile is working with the NAS vendors and online storage companies around bringing maybe a somewhat better version of online storage or NAS to the market. And that is, you don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to think about it. It's just going to work, and Unity is going to take care of it. And you'll still get to use that single, simple UI to see all your content and access it when you want.
So before we wrap up, is there anything else you wanted to share with the listeners?
I think we're offering your listeners a special discount, so they could use a coupon code to get a discount on our lifetime service. And otherwise, we're working hard to keep making the product better. I think when it comes to sort of discovering your own content, is the way I put it. Unity really offers something that is worth checking out. It's pretty cool to be able to find all the things that you've created or collected over your sort of digital lifetime. And that's kind of where Unity, I think, shines, is finding all this stuff for you and letting you browse it or access it on demand.
All right. Yeah. And that you mentioned that discount code, you can actually get 20% off the lifetime plan with the discount code Grounded Reason, I think is what I have here. So,
yep.
Erik, thanks for coming in and sharing one of the most innovative, simple apps that I've seen in a while. I've been waiting for something like this for a long time. Really appreciate you coming in today.
Thanks so much. Glad to be here.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
And that was my interview with Erik Caso, the CEO of Entangled Media. If you guys are interested in getting Unity, just go out to GetUnity. As Erik said, that's GetUnity.com. If you decide to get the lifetime membership, it's $36, but if you enter Grounded Reason as the promo code, you get 20% off of that. If you have any questions or comments, shoot us an email. That address is podcast@groundedreason.com. You can also follow us on Twitter. The handle's @GroundedReason, or you can check out our Facebook page, or you can just, head over to groundedreason.com and leave a comment on, your favorite article or your most hated article, and we'll fight. Not pugilistically or anything, just a battle of words. It'll be a hoot. I hope you guys don't take me up on that. I hope you do take me up on hitting the subscribe button, though, if you're in iTunes, because that's how the show gets ranked. So hit that subscribe button so we can go up in the rankings and more people listen. We'll see you next week.